Watching the BET Awards from his VIP table, Fat Joe thought this was just another night celebrating hip-hop excellence. But when the spotlight hit the stage for the Best New Artist category, his heart stopped. Standing there with a microphone, spitting bars with his exact flow in his mother's eyes, was an 18-year-old girl he had never seen before, but who looked exactly like him. Her name was Sofia Cartagena, and she was about to reveal to the world that Fat Joe had abandoned her before she was born. But the real shock wasn't that he had a daughter he never knew about. It was that she had spent her entire life preparing to destroy his legacy on the biggest stage in hip-hop. If you want to see how family secrets can explode in the most public way possible, and how a father and daughter can go from strangers to enemies to something even more powerful, hit subscribe right now, because this story will take you on an emotional roller coaster that redefines what family really means. June 28, 2011, Nokia Theater, Los Angeles BET Awards. Fat Joe was at the peak of his career, sitting at a table filled with industry legends, celebrating another successful year. The BET Awards were always special to him. This was where Latino artists in hip-hop got recognition, where the culture he helped build was celebrated on a national stage. He was relaxed, enjoying the show, completely unprepared for what was about to happen. When the presenter announced the Best New Artist nominees, Joey half listened while checking his phone. But when Sofia Cartagena's name was called and the camera panned to her in the audience, something made him look up. The young woman on screen had his jawline, his confident stare, and most shocking of all, the same distinctive scar above her left eyebrow that he had gotten in a childhood accident. Sofia looked directly into the camera as if she was looking directly at him, and mouthed words that made his blood run cold. "Hi, Daddy." But Sofia wasn't there to reunite with her father. She was there to expose him. What Fat Joe didn't know was that Sofia had been planning this moment for 3 years. She had spent her teenage years building a rap career specifically to get to this level, to earn a platform big enough to confront the father who had abandoned her mother during pregnancy and never looked back. Sofia's mother, Carmen Delgado, had been a backup dancer on one of Fat Joe's music videos in 1992. They had a brief relationship that ended when Carmen told Joey she was pregnant. According to Carmen's story, Joey had given her money for an abortion and told her never to contact him again. But Carmen had kept the baby and raised Sofia alone, working multiple jobs and never asking Joey for support. Growing up, Sofia had heard stories about her father's success from friends and classmates, watching him become famous while she and her mother struggled financially. The anger and abandonment had driven her to pursue rap music, not out of love for the art form, but as a weapon to get revenge against the man who had denied her existence. Sofia's plan was simple but devastating. Use her BET Awards performance to reveal their relationship publicly, embarrass Joey in front of the entire hip-hop community, and launch her own career on the foundation of his humiliation. Right at this moment, Sofia took the stage for her performance. When Sofia stepped up to perform, she didn't do the song that had made her famous. Instead, she began spitting lyrics that told the story of her life, her mother's struggles, and her father's abandonment. Every bar was aimed directly at Fat Joe, and the cameras kept cutting to his shocked face as the audience realized what was happening. 18 years of wondering why my daddy ran away. Now I'm standing on this stage making sure he has to pay. Fat Joe, yeah, that's you sitting there looking scared. Time to face the daughter that you never knew you shared. The audience was stunned. This wasn't just a performance. This was a public confrontation. A family drama playing out on live television in front of millions of viewers. Joey sat frozen, his mind racing as he tried to process not only that he had a daughter, but that she was using the biggest night in hip-hop to destroy his reputation. Sofia continued her freestyle, revealing details about her mother's life, their financial struggles, and the pain of growing up fatherless while watching Joey live in luxury. Every word was perfectly crafted to maximize his embarrassment and her sympathy from the audience. What Sofia revealed next shocked everyone, including Fat Joe. But here's the truth that Mama never told you all. She never even tried to make that phone call. Too proud to ask for help, too scared to reach out, raised me to believe that love was something we could live without. Sofia's lyrics revealed that Carmen had never actually contacted Joey after Sofia was born. The story about him rejecting them was a lie she had told Sofia to explain his absence. Carmen had made the decision to raise Sofia alone, but had used Joey as a scapegoat for their struggles, building Sofia's entire identity around resentment for a man who didn't even know she existed. The revelation stunned the audience, and clearly shocked Sophia herself. She had built her entire career and her whole sense of identity around hating a father who had never actually rejected her. But now, standing on stage in front of thousands of people and millions of viewers, she was realizing that her mother had lied to her for 18 years. Joey saw the confusion and pain in his daughter's eyes as she processed this revelation in real time. Despite the public humiliation she was putting him through, he felt overwhelming compassion for the young woman who had been manipulated into believing she was unwanted. At that moment, Fat Joe made a decision that shocked everyone. Instead of sitting at his table and letting Sophia finish her performance alone, Joey stood up and walked onto the stage. Security moved to stop him, but he waved them off and approached the microphone where Sophia stood frozen, unsure how to continue her planned attack, now that its foundation had crumbled. "Sophia," Joey said, his voice carrying clearly through the arena. "I don't know what your mother told you, but I want you to know something right now, in front of all these people. If I had known about you, I would have been there. Not just with money, but with love, with time, with everything a daughter deserves from her father." The audience was completely silent, witnessing something unprecedented in award show history. A real family reconciliation happening live on television. Sophia looked at him with tears in her eyes, her anger replaced by confusion, and a desperate desire to believe that she hadn't spent 18 years hating someone who could have loved her. "How do I know you're not lying? How do I know you wouldn't have just run away like she said you would?" Joey's response changed both of their lives forever, because Joey said, taking off his platinum chain, the one he had worn to every major event for the past 10 years, and placing it around Sophia's neck, "Family doesn't run away from family. And you're my family, whether I knew it or not." The gesture was simple but profound. In front of thousands of people and millions of viewers, Joey was claiming Sophia as his daughter, and making it clear that her presence in his life was a gift, not a burden. Sophia broke down crying, and Joey embraced her on stage as the audience erupted in applause. What had started as a planned humiliation had become something beautiful, a moment of genuine connection between a father and daughter who had both been victims of someone else's pride and fear. But the story was far from over. As they stood together on stage, both Joey and Sophia knew that this public reconciliation was just the beginning of building a relationship that should have existed for 18 years. The aftermath of the BET Awards changed everything for both of them. In the days following the awards show, the video of their reconciliation went viral worldwide. But the attention also brought scrutiny that revealed the full complexity of the situation. Carmen's story began to unravel as friends and family members came forward with information about her real motivations for keeping Sophia away from Joey. It turned out that Carmen had been in a relationship with another man when Sophia was conceived, and she hadn't been sure who the father was. Rather than dealing with the uncertainty, she had chosen to raise Sophia alone and create a narrative that made Joey the villain to explain his absence from their lives. Sophia was devastated to learn that her entire identity had been built on lies, but she was also relieved to discover that her father's absence hadn't been a rejection of her but simply ignorance of her existence. Joey, meanwhile, was dealing with his own complex emotions. He was thrilled to discover he had a daughter, but he was also angry at Carmen for robbing him of 18 years of Sophia's life. Most importantly, he was determined to build a real relationship with Sophia despite the unusual circumstances of their meeting. The relationship between Joey and Sophia evolved in unexpected ways. Rather than simply accepting Sophia as his daughter and trying to make up for lost time, Joey recognized that Sophia was already an adult with her own career, her own identity, and her own goals. He didn't try to become a traditional father figure, but rather a mentor, collaborator, and friend who happened to also be her biological father. They began working on music together, combining Joey's experience with Sophia's fresh perspective and natural talent. Her anger and pain, which had initially been directed at him, became the foundation for powerful lyrics about family forgiveness and the complexity of relationships. Sophia's career took off not just because of the publicity from the BET Awards incident, but because her music became more authentic and emotionally honest once she stopped writing from a place of manufactured anger and started writing from a place of genuine experience and growth. 2 years later, their collaboration produced something unprecedented. Joey and Sophia recorded an album together called Found Family that explored themes of lost time, forgiveness, and building relationships despite past hurt and misunderstanding. The album was both a commercial success and a critical breakthrough, showing that family relationships could be honest about pain while still celebrating connection and love. Their story also became an inspiration for other families, dealing with similar situations, absent parents who wanted to reconnect with their children, and children who were struggling to understand complicated family histories. Sophia's initial plan to destroy Joey's reputation had instead created something more valuable, a model for how families could come together even when their histories were complicated and painful. The most important change was in how both of them understood family and forgiveness. Sophia learned that holding on to anger, even justified anger, had been holding her back from becoming the person and the artist she was meant to be. Her music became more powerful when it came from a place of healing rather than hurt. Joey learned that being a father wasn't just about providing financially or even being present from the beginning. It was about being willing to meet your child where they are, when they are, and building something real regardless of how much time had been lost. Their relationship also taught them both that family isn't just about blood relationships or traditional structures. It's about people who choose to support, challenge, and love each other despite their flaws and mistakes. This is why Fat Joe's later music became so much more focused on family, forgiveness, and second chances. His reunion with Sophia didn't just give him a daughter. It taught him that it's never too late to build meaningful relationships, and that sometimes the people who challenge us the most are the ones who help us grow the most. Sophia's attack on him at the BET Awards could have destroyed his reputation, but instead it became the foundation for one of his most important relationships and most meaningful work. The impact of their story extended far beyond their personal relationship. The BET Awards incident became a cultural moment that sparked conversations about fatherhood, responsibility, and the importance of truth in family relationships. Many viewers were inspired by Joey's willingness to embrace Sophia publicly, even though she had tried to humiliate him. The incident also highlighted the damage that can be caused when parents use children as weapons against each other, or when pride prevents people from seeking the relationships and support they need. Carmen's decision to lie to Sophia about Joey's role in their lives had hurt both Sophia and Joey, robbing them of years of connection and causing Sophia to build her identity around pain and resentment. Sophia's transformation from an angry teenager seeking revenge to a mature young woman building a career and relationship with her father became a powerful example of how people can heal from childhood wounds and create new narratives for their lives. Her initial rap performance at the BET Awards was driven by hatred, but her later music was driven by hope, healing, and authentic emotion. The collaboration between Joey and Sophia also broke new ground in hip-hop, showing that family relationships could be complicated and imperfect while still being valuable and meaningful. Their music together didn't pretend that their relationship was simple or that everything was immediately perfect after their reunion. Instead, it honestly explored the process of building trust, understanding, and love despite a difficult beginning. Most importantly, their story demonstrated that public moments of vulnerability and honesty could create more powerful connections than trying to maintain perfect images. Joey's decision to walk onto that stage and claim Sophia as his daughter, despite the potential damage to his reputation, showed audiences that real strength comes from embracing truth and choosing love over self-protection. Years later, Sophia would say that the BET Awards performance was the worst and best thing she had ever done. The worst because it was based on lies and hatred, the best because it led her to the father and authentic artistic voice she had been searching for her entire life. Their relationship proved that dramatic family confrontations could become foundations for healing and growth when approached with honesty and love.